Jerry O'Sullivan and Peter O'Sullivan. So it's time to confirm the teams for you now. There are no late changes on either East Kerry or the Mid Kerry sides. We'll start with East Kerry. They have in goal Shane Ryan of Rathmore. It's a full back line of Chris O'Donoghue, Glenflesk, Jack Sherwood of Fireys and Niall Donoghue of Fireys. Half back line Shane Cronin of Spa, Dan O'Donoghue the captain of Spa and Paul Murphy of Rathmore. Centre field is Mark Ryan of Rathmore and Ronan Buckley of Listry. Half forward line Dara Moynihan of Spa, Paddy Clifford of Fossa, Brendan O'Keefe of Rathmore. Full forward line David Clifford of Fossa, Dara Roach of Glenflesk and Evan Cronin of Spa. Let's turn to the Mid Kerry team, and they have in goal Stephen Cahalan of Keele. Full back line Pa Kilkenny, Glenbeigh Glencar, Pa Wren the captain of Milltown Castlemaine and David Mangan of Lown Rangers. The half back line Peter Crowley Lown Rangers, Mike Breen of Beaufort and Jack Brosnan of Glenbeigh Glencar. Centre field Colin McGillicuddy of Glenbeigh Glencar and Ronan Murphy of Beaufort. Half forward line David Roach, Milltown Castlemaine, Fiacre Clifford of Lown Rangers, Kieran Kennedy of Beaufort. Full forward line Gavin O'Grady of Glenbeigh Glencar, Liam Carey of Beaufort and Darren O'Sullivan of Glenbeigh Glencar. And our match referee for this evening is Paul Hayes from Cairns O'Reilly's. As usual, joining me in commentary is Sean O'Sullivan. We'll hear from Sean in a moment, but we stand first of all for the playing of our Ron Naveen. Well, the last time these sides met, would we believe it, was way back in 1965. Sean O'Sullivan is with me in commentary this evening. Sean, you're welcome, and what a glorious evening it is for the county final.
Thanks, Gary. Hello to you. Hello to all our viewers following our stream this evening, Gary. Absolutely fantastic evening for a county final. The Kerry county final, for me, the biggest day on the calendar besides an All-Ireland final, in my honest opinion. Fantastic occasion for these two teams, these sets of players. I'm expecting a very, very open game, Gary. I think you'll have two really good footballing teams who are going to go at it from the word go. You have a referee in Paul Hayes who's just going to let the game flow, hopefully. And I'm really, really looking forward to a county final that'll hopefully finish off a great years of Kerry Championship football. Well, Paul Hayes ready to throw the ball in. As I said, I didn't quite see who won the toss, but it's little or no breeze in actual fact. There is a strong sun, though, here in the Austin Stack Park this evening, and we are underway. And it is straight away. The possession is with East Kerry. Over here to the right half forward position is Dara Moynihan, the man from Spa. He'll be marked by Jack Brosnan. Gives the ball nicely into the middle to Mark Ryan. Still Mark Ryan approaching the mid-Kerry 45-metre line. Gives a nice little ball inside. Good interpassing by him. Brendan O'Keefe now. Brendan O'Keefe give you a lovely ball back again to Ronan Buckley. Ronan Buckley for the post, and Ronan Buckley scores after 25 seconds. Yeah, an ideal start for the champions, Gary. Exactly what they'll be looking for. Just looking at some matchups straight away, Gary. Jack Brosnan is picking up Darren Moynihan. I see Mike Breen has gone back on David Clifford, and Pa Kilkenny has been given the job of sticking close to Paddy Clifford. So let's see how those matchups go, Gary. And they are very critical, these matchups. And it's possession now with the far side David Roach, the Milltown Castlemaine man. David taking on Paul Murphy from Rathmore. He'll keep him busy throughout the evening here. Beautiful evening. Thankfully, nice to see the bones of 200 people inside here watching this final. This is Liam Carey of Beaufort. Plenty of run at the moment. Peeling away from in there was Fiacre Clifford. Still Liam Carey with a fantastic run. There are three East Kerry men around him. He's going for the kill, and with the left leg he has pulled it right and wide. Yeah, Liam did everything right there, Gary, and East Kerry won't be happy with that. He got in fairly easy with no hand laid in him at all. Probably could have looked outside for a runner, decided to pop it onto his left and just pulled it wide. But Kerry will be happy that Liam got in so handy there, and if they can get him on the ball, he's a danger man for them. The danger man, of course, for Mid-Kerry is Gavin O'Grady. He's been picked up by the county man Jack Sherwood. As we mentioned earlier on, the matchups will be critical. They may change from duration to duration. Involved there, Mark Ryan with the ball. This now is a lovely, lovely peach of a pass
pass there to Dara Moynihan. The sun is in our eyes in the commentary box. It's a nice little ball inside for the first touch of the evening for David Clifford, and that's a beautiful score by Clifford after 2 minutes of play.
Simple but effective football, Gary. Just neatly played up the line here. Dara Moynihan was out in front of Jack Brosnan. David Clifford was out in front of Mike Breen, and that's all Clifford needs. That little bit of space onto his left, and a superb score.
Good start by the champions. 2 points to nil. Shot kick out by both goalkeepers so far. Pa Kilkenny trading passes over there now as Pa Wren, the captain from Milltown Castlemaine. He will be hoping to bring the Bishop Moynihan Cup to Mid-Kerry tonight. This is Darren O'Sullivan. Darren with a nice ball inside to Ronan Murphy. 9 versus 9. The other Ronan is on him. 2 Ronans, both wearing number 9. This is the man wearing 4, David Mangan. There was a high challenge there. The referee gives a free in on the 45-metre line.
Yeah, that was a bit better by Mid-Kerry, Gary. The move was coming across the field. David Mangan injected a bit of pace into it, went on, got pulled down. Paul Hayes played the advantage. There was nothing coming, and this is a free now for Liam Carey. Tough one from the 45 for Liam for his first one.
He's the second top scorer in the championship for Mid-Kerry. The top scorer is Davin O'Grady. That's a poor kick inside. It's easily gathered by Shane Ryan. This now will be worked out to midfielder Ronan Buckley. Beautiful evening for the county final. If you tried to pick a better evening, you couldn't. This is with Mark Ryan from Rathmore. Mark in his half-back line drives it long inside again. Is there a bit of holding? It was well done by Pa Kilkenny. He broke it nicely there away from the possession of Paddy Clifford. This now is picked up by Ronan Murphy of Beaufort. Ronan, a high one for Kerry. He stays down and it drops nicely into the grateful arms of David Roach. Outside now is the roaming Darren O'Sullivan. You won't see him playing in that left corner forward position. Lovely ball for Gavin O'Grady. A chance here for Gavin O'Grady. Still going through, and he's pulled and dragged to the ground. That's a close-in free.
Oh, Gary was very close to being a penalty. He was right on the edge of the box. Maybe Paul Hayes is given the free for a little earlier infringement. It was a superb ball from Darren. Darren has drifted out the field. I see Jack Sherwood has kind of stayed back and just loitered around the edge of the square. Superb ball in. Great fetch by Gavin O'Grady, and should be a score from Mid-Kerry.
And it is the first score of the evening, and Kieran Kennedy of Beaufort taking the frees. Gavin O'Grady, Sean, is coming into this game with an injury concern.
Yes, there was word before the game, Gary, that he picked up a knock last week and hasn't quite got over it. But look, Gavin didn't want to miss out in the county final. He'll soldier on. Interesting to see that Mid-Kerry are playing 2 inside in Gavin O'Grady and Liam Carey. Darren O'Sullivan drifting out the field.
Ronan Murphy went high for that, but he got sandwiched between 2 players, and Paddy Clifford has the ball. In actual fact, I'm led to believe that Gavin O'Grady didn't train at all for the week leading up to this, so he is an injury concern for them. They will hoping that he will come through because he's their main man. Ronan Buckley's transferring it now over to one of East Kerry's main men. That's Paul Murphy. Paul Murphy inside for his inter-county teammate David Clifford. David Clifford taking Mike Breen all over the Osselstack Park with him. Still David Clifford. Back again it goes now to the captain from Spa, Dan Donoghue. Ball playing nicely inside to the corner there by Evan Cronin. Evan asking Dara Roach to get on the ball. Dara Roach falling to the ground. Little bit slippery inside there. Dara plays it outside again to his midfielder. That's Mark Ryan. 4.5 minutes gone in the game. 2 points to 1. East Kerry leading at the moment. This is the centre back Dan O'Donoghue again. Dan O'Donoghue looking for the runner. It's very congested inside there by East Kerry. They need to open it out a bit more. David Clifford going through. The hand is up from Paul Hayes. It's a free in to East Kerry.
Yeah, it was very, very congested, as you said, Gary. A lot of jerseys in around that half forward spot of the field there, but eventually it made its way to David Clifford, who put on the afterburners, got pulled back, and a free in for East Kerry to extend their lead. Kind of a disjointed start at the moment, Gary, from Mid-Kerry. They just can't seem to get their hands on the ball, but certainly they'll be looking to try and negate the effect that Paddy Clifford is going to have in the game, which is why they've put Pa Kilkenny on him. And so far, Pa has kept him quiet, but a long game yet there, Gary.
Here's Dara Roach with the free. He is the top scorer in the East Kerry side, and with frees like that, that's the reason he's won 12 so far in the championship. David Clifford won 11, but of course Clifford missed the semi-final.
That's right, yeah, but Dara is a very, very good inside forward, Gary, from frees and open play, so he'll be looking to really get on the score sheet tonight. Big ball out here to Jack Brosnan.
And there's holding by both Jack Brosnan and Dara Moynihan. I think Paul Hayes decided they were both at it. Gone down injured is Shane Cronin of Spa.
Yeah, I think that was just a 50-50 battle, really, Gary. As we saw from the semi-final against Crokes, Jack Brosnan is an outlet for Stephen Cahalane for the Mid-Kerry kickouts. He used him quite a bit, actually, in the semi-final to great effect. So that's something, obviously, that East Kerry have done their homework on and told Dara Moynihan that he's going to have to compete there with Jack under every kickout. I think it was a 50-50 battle. It was for the loose ball after that Jack went in that East Kerry have got the free for.
Paddy Clifford to take this free. His marker has peeled back. That, of course, is Pa Kilkenny into the corner, but I think the ball will win this race. That's a poor one from Paddy Clifford. It's a line ball to Mid-Kerry.
That's sloppy from Paddy. That's usually better than that. So Mid-Kerry now on the ball with Pa Kilkenny trying to get out and launch their own attack.
Pa Kilkenny, great ball into the middle. And this is David Roach, who's got on it more than once in the 6 minutes that's played. Lovely ball over to this side of the field for Kieran Kennedy. Kennedy now trying to keep possession. He'll look up as two men outside him. One of them is Jack Brosnan, the Glenbeigh Carman. Gone inside the East Kerry 45-yard line. On the sideline it is. Two of them around him. He needs to get rid of it. He's held on to it a bit too much. Overcrowded. Possibility of a touch in the ground there by Dara Moynihan, but the referee left it go, and it's up along the line here. He's gone out over the line. Well, the man was David Mangan, but the ball wasn't, Sean, I think.
No, David Mangan did excellently well there, Gary. He's right in front of us. He won the ball and he didn't go out over the line. He did, but the ball didn't.
Great ball by Liam Carey inside to Gavin O'Grady. Very tight angle for Gavin O'Grady, and I think he's pulled it right and wide.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Gavin. He loves coming in off that left-hand side, off the left foot, aiming for the far post, but he just caught that one wrong, Gary. But look, so far, as we see David Mangan here getting some treatment, I think he might have gone over on his ankle a little bit as he kept that ball in play just before, Gary. But so far, it's Mick Kerry will looking for more of their forwards to get on the ball. We haven't seen much of Freaker Clifford at the moment. David Roach has got on a few balls. Darren has been quite enough. Up the other side, East Kerry looked that bit more dangerous when they get into the final third of the field. But it's early yet, Gary. We've only not even 8 minutes on the clock. But, hopefully it opens up a little bit more. Both teams are going to be that little bit extra cautious in the opening stages.
Jerry O'Sullivan arguing the toss here with the linesmen's officials. And there are 2 or 3 of them. Ger Lynch is one of them. Brendan Griffin is one of them as well. That's a good free. One out there in the middle by Ronan Murphy. More than once he's gone high for the ball there, and that's a lovely ball inside to Gavin. Gavin slips it to Darren. Darren O'Sullivan now just outside the D, opening it up for Liam Carey. He is in his shooting zone. Liam Carey goes for the post, and he's put it straight between the posts.
Yeah, a great win around the middle of the field from Ronan Murphy. He's having a good championship. Slipped it to Darren. I thought Darren had just put too much on the pass for Liam Carey. Liam gathered, looked up and popped it over the bar. Great score. Good opening, Gary. 3 points to 2, nothing in it.
Lively start. They predicted it would be a close one. Of course, East Kerry have beaten Field Rangers, Kiernans and Brendans en route to this, while it was Kilcummin, Kinmare, Shamrocks and Dr. Crokes for Mick Kerry. Mick Kerry doing well around the middle of the field now. This is Fiacre Clifford. Very high solo by him. Lost possession, and possession is back with the red shirts. There was a moment of a chance for Fiacre Clifford there, Sean.
There was there, Gary, and Fiacre's a great man to win a break. He came out here under Ronan Murphy and won it. Just his solo let him down. A little bit of nerves maybe, but good interception by East Kerry.
Long ball driven in by Ronan Buckley again. Jack Brosnan more than once. He's defeated Evan Cronin for that one. The advantage given by Paul Hayes. Out now again to Pat Kilkenny. Pat Kilkenny, will he be thinking of going attacking today? Remember, he's on Paddy Clifford. Oh, there's a bit of a high collision over there. Kerry win the battle again. Kerry with a lovely ball, asking a lot of David Roach now. He's not going to get to it, but the referee will call it back for a free.
Yeah, but a brilliant win here again down in front of us by David Mangan, Gary. That's his second or third one there. A young man from Lone Rangers. I remember I had David in a development squad. He out with injury, but he came back. He's worked really hard at his game, and here he is as a young fella playing in a county final, and well deserved.
Quickly taken free kick inside, gathering it is Kieran Kennedy. Kennedy sells a lovely dummy. Open it up now for Ronan Murphy. Murphy will get there. A chance of a goal, and he's pulled it to the right and wide. There was a touch, there wasn't. It's a wide ball, a glorious chance for Ronan Murphy.
Gary, and a great chance, and I just wonder, could he have drawn in it? I know he went to catch the ball and tried to go around Shane Ryan or get it under him. I wonder, could he have just kind of caught it on the half volley? However, missed a good opportunity from Mick Kerry.
Here's the other Ronan Buckley getting a quick kick out given to Jack Sherwood. It's opened up alarmingly as far as Mick Kerry is concerned for the tall midfielder. He plays the ball lovely inside to Paddy Clifford. Paddy had the brother there with him. He decides to give it to Evan Cronin, and that's a super kick from Evan Cronin.
And that's the quality that East Kerry have, Gary. If you don't punish them down one end, they'll work the ball up, and they've the likes of Evan Cronin there to punish you. Super score, just nonchalantly onto his right foot and over the bar. 4-2 to East Kerry.
4-2 to East Kerry is correct, and 3 of those 4 are all from play, which is a good start for the reigning champions. This now is Parren, the Milltown Castlemaine man, the captain of the team, playing it ball. Calling for it now is Pat Kilkenny. There's going to be a bit of heat put on him from Brendan O'Keefe. Pat Kilkenny holds on to possession. Referee was going to give him a free anyway. Paul Hayes now takes down the hand. Fiacre Clifford involved in it. So too is Ronan Murphy. Ronan Murphy into space now again. This will test the injury of Liam Carey inside there, and of Gavin O'Grady as well. It's Carey taking on Jack Sherwood, juggling with the ball. Still Liam Carey trying to pull a free, trying to get around Sherwood. It's a hard thing to do. This is Darren O'Sullivan. Darren O'Sullivan now slowing down possession. He knows what's needed. It needs to find a man in a green and red jersey. It's the wing back Jack Brosnan, his clubmate. Back again to Darren. Now Peter Crowley, the Lone Rangers man, the Kerry man, back from injury. Long time out. Great run by Crowley. Still Crowley gone inside 3 or 4 of them. Possession still with Mid Kerry, but at the moment there's no in product. They're going in and coming back out again, and still not able to penetrate this East Kerry full back line and half back line. Ronan Murphy again. Outside it goes now to Jack Brosnan. Jack Brosnan gives it to Mike Breen. He's on David Clifford. Now we see Clifford is defending rather than attacking. Mike Breen thing, I think, is being called into the Kerry panel. Peter Kane will answer that question, but I think he is. This is Pat Kilkenny, who was previously in the panel. It'll be a free if the ball is broke down because the referee was given the advantage. Across it goes to David Mangan. Mangan just approaching the 45-metre line now. Still Mangan. Still David Mangan. He's the corner back. He's going for a score. Is he successful, David Mangan? He is not.
Very unlucky, Gary. Very unlucky, but again just shows the confidence of the young man. Rode the tackle, took it onto his right foot. Very unlucky not to score. Been a very, very good start, Gary. You know, Mid Kerry will be happy enough. They're only 2 points down against the favourites and the champions. They're staying in it. It's important that they stay on their coattails and try and bring their game to them as much as possible.
4 wide so far for Mid Kerry, no wide for East Kerry, and the watch tells us 12.5 minutes gone in the county final as the sun gone behind the clouds and the lights are on in the Austin Stack Park. Possession with East Kerry and Dan O'Donoghue from Spa, the captain of the team. With him there he's got Niall O'Donoghue from Fireys. Niall will look up. Outside him he's got Shane Cronin. He decides to go long and a peach of a pass it was inside, and a chance for Dara Moynihan going through. The referee's giving you the advantage. Dara Moynihan, there's a goal on here. Paddy Clifford's going to pull in this. In fact, it's not Paddy, it's Dan Donoghue who continued on, but the goalie Stephen Callahan came to the rescue.
Oh, the goal was there, Gary. The goal was there for East Kerry. They kind of dilly-dallied on it. Maybe Dara Moynihan was looking for a free off Paul Hayes. It never came, and eventually it came across the small square. Mid Kerry got bodies back, and it ended up with a scuff shot, which Stephen Callahan saved with no bother at all. But a dangerous moment for Mid Kerry, Gary.
Let off for Mid Kerry, most certainly. This is Jack Brosnan with plenty of room in front of him. There's not a sign of an East Kerry man within 20-30 yards of him. Lovely ball up to the wing and gives it to Kieran Kennedy. Or sorry, it's not. This is Liam Carey. Liam Carey now taking on Mark Ryan. Still Liam Carey. Carey will look up. There's 2 red jerseys around him. He needs to get rid of this. He was isolated. Lucky enough, I thought, to get a free there,
He
Sean.
was, Gary, and Mid Kerry are going to have to look at that. Liam Carey was completely left on his own there. He was lucky in the end to draw the free. East Kerry will be disappointed that they gave away the free because there was no need, but Mid Kerry are going to have to get more support up the field. They're playing with 2 men inside full forward line of Liam Carey and Gavin Grady, and so far at the moment East Kerry, when they don't have the ball, are drifting in back, forcing Mid Kerry to run the ball. So they're going to have to get a little bit more support up there for the 2 lads. This is a difficult enough kick from this angle for Liam.
Looking for his second point of the evening. It may be difficult, but that's a super kick from Liam Carey. It's his second score of the evening, and it's Mid Kerry's third.
Yeah, entertaining start, Gary. Hope our viewers at home are enjoying it. I want to say hello to the Fitzmaurice family in Chicago who haven't missed a stream yet, so hopefully they're enjoying the first 15 minutes of this game so far.
Dan O'Donoghue from Spa plays it away out to the stand side of the field, and again it's a cornerback Chris O'Donoghue landing it up nicely for Dara Roach from Glenflesk. Dara Parr in there with him inside. This is well held inside, in fact is lost, but it's a chance for East Kerry and it's a chance for Dara Moynihan, and I think he has taken that chance. They're considering it and the white flag is raised.
Yeah, eventually it's gone up anyway, Gary. It was great hands inside there. Thought the opportunity had gone, but it was brilliantly held onto and slipped out to Dara Moynihan, who took it on the run and popped it over the bar. Right now at the moment, Gary, East Kerry are just matching anything that Mid Kerry throw at them, and that's gone out over the line from Stephen Callahan. A poor kick.
Poor kick from Stephen Callahan. He was looking for Jack Brosnan, but got his angles mixed up. And it is a line ball which Dara Moynihan will take fairly quickly inside to David Clifford. David Clifford being marked by Mike Breen this evening. Clifford juggling with a beautiful style, beautiful composure. Look at the way he made an angle for himself. That's poetry in motion.
Yeah, and Gary, that's exactly what we missed out, or East Kerry missed in the semi-final. That's what that guy possesses. We were talking about him in the warm-up there, Gary, for East Kerry. He just saunters around the place, doesn't really do a whole pile in the warm-up, but by God, when that whistle goes and the ball goes up, he's ready.
6 points to 3 now. Out to the middle of the field. Up with the one hand was Colin McGillicuddy, but the referees penalised him for climbing on the back of Mark Ryan.
A bit harsh, Gary. I thought Colin's just a big man. He got up and knocked it down, but Paul saw an infringement and he's the ref.
Evan Cronin now. Lovely little pass inside again. The full forward line are clicking well, and one man that's clicking is Dara Roach, but he's pulled this one left and wide. First wide for East Kerry after 16 minutes.
Yeah, and in fairness to Dara, he was drifting away from goal into the corner, and as we get the first water break out of the way here, Gary, But Perrin, in fairness to him, he's done a good job on Dara so far. He's been nice and tight. He forced Dara to kick under pressure and he pulled it wide. But Gary, going into the first water break, East Kerry will be quite happy. They're in control of the game. And this was my biggest fear, I suppose, for Mid Kerry, is that East Kerry would dominate the pace of the game. And so far they are. If Mid Kerry want to stay in this and have a good opportunity of winning, they have to bring their pace to the game. So far it's East Kerry that are dictating it, and they don't seem to have any problems with Mid Kerry right now.
Two minor goal scoring chances from both sides, wasn't there?
Yeah, the first one was Ronan Murphy's, obviously, from Mid Kerry. He got in. As I said, I'd love to see a replay back. Could he have just drawn on it before Shane Ryan came out? He went to gather it. It gave Shane Ryan a chance to close the angle down, and Ronan tried to slip it under him but put it to the right of the post. And obviously the goal scoring chance up here for East Kerry, maybe a little bit quicker hands. If they'd slipped the ball a bit quicker, Darren Moynihan, the goal chance was on. It wasn't. It was a poor pass, and it allowed Mid Kerry to get players back and come away.
Well, the water break should end in a matter of seconds. Hard to believe, Sean, that it's the last district final was 2007, Field Rangers in South Kerry.
That's right, Gary. Yeah, I mean, look, district teams, I suppose, they can be a difficult entity at times. It's all about getting players to buy in and get together. Obviously, South Kerry, well, they really took it to the next level when they went on that great run of winning county championships. East Kerry are doing it now at the moment. But that's quite a long time since the last county final that had two district teams competing in it.
Well, South Kerry were going for the 4 in a row that day, but an Eamon Fitzmaurice and a Paul Galvin led Field Rangers decided to defeat them 1-4 to 6 points. We're back with tonight's action. There's 18 minutes gone. Normal time. There will be added on for the injury or the water break.
This is a crucial quarter now for Mid Kerry, Gary. They're 3 points behind. They can't leave the lead go any further than that if they want to get into half time still in this. So they just need to get down the field and start getting a few scores on the board.
And here is Peter Crowley trying to get down that field, looking for the return pass again. It was a nice kick out by Stephen Cahalan to give it to him. It's now, it's a little bit of a butterfingers by Fiacre Clifford. He was lucky he got away with it there because Jack Brosnan was there to help him. Advantage given to Mid Kerry. We might come back if the play is lost by them. This is Mike Bree now from Beaufort. Mike, he has the job of marking David Clifford tonight. Mike slips it nicely inside for Liam Carey. Lovely ball inside for Gavin O'Grady. This calling for it over there is a chance for Kerry. Beautiful score.
I'll tell you, Gary, Gavin O'Grady is Mid Kerry's danger man, and I'm sure East Kerry will be keeping an eye on him. Liam Carey has started superbly, Gary. He was unlucky with his first kick off his left. Since then, he's pinned 2 beauties over the bar. So he's giving Jack Sherwood an awful lot of trouble in there. Sherwood has moved over on him. Paul Hayes is going to have a word with somebody out here. I think it might be Evan Cronin and David Mangan, is it, I think?
I think it was that high challenge.
Yeah, I think he's having a word with Evan Cronin. But Gary, that's a lot better now for Mid Kerry. They opened up the space there. They used the ball intelligently. Liam Carey decided he was going into the pocket, popped it onto his left and over the bar. That's what Mid Kerry need to do, Gary. They need to keep pegging on those scores and stay on the coattails of East Kerry if they can.
And the first yellow card of the evening has been shown to Evan Cronin. Darren Sullivan was alive to the quick kick out, which didn't go where it should have gone as far as East Kerry were concerned. In for Fiacre Clifford. Oh, that's a high, heavy challenge by Ronan Buckley. He'll be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow for this one, Sean.
Yeah, it was a high challenge, Gary. All I will say is that the ball bounced at a nice level for Buckley to go and attack it. Now, did he follow through and bring Fiacre down? He did, but I think he was genuinely going for the ball, which the East Kerry management were kind of protesting to Paul Hayes about. But look, Hayes made the call. Another chance for Liam Carey to pop this over the bar and bring the lead down to the minimum.
It was kind of an awkward challenge more than a malicious challenge, to be fair to him. This is another chance, and it's slotted home by Liam Carey. Mid Kerry, as you say, hanging on to the tailcoats.
Absolutely, and it's good to see Liam Carey in such good form. He's had a great start so far, Gary. 20 minutes in, and he's rifling over the scores. Another long ball here now, and another one contested around the middle.
Up they go. McGillicuddy. Colin has possession in the middle of the field. Now to Park Kilkenny. Since the water break, Mid Kerry coming more into it. Park Kilkenny taking on Paul Murphy. One of them is playing for Kerry. The other one used to play for Kerry. This is Niall Donoghue now. Play is back with East Kerry. They'll look up now and see what their angles are, and Paddy Clifford on the ball. He's the man, he's the main orchestra really. He's the man that gets the game flowing. Dan O'Donoghue now. Dan spraying it outside here to the wing to Shane Cronin from Spa. Shane will look up. He'll give it inside now for Evan. Evan continuing his run with Shane Cronin. Evan is still on possession, about 70 yards out from goal. It's a close, slow build up at the moment. Paddy Clifford decides to go long, looking inside for the brother, but he hasn't. Well, Darren Sullivan had it, left it after him, and David Clifford does the rest.
Yeah, and that's I was just about to say that's great covering back by Darren O'Sullivan for his team. He very nearly intercepted it because it was a ball by Paddy, a diagonal ball into the pocket. But again, it goes to show you, Gary, David Clifford, he just needs a sniff onto his supposedly weaker right foot and over the bar.
Outside for Colin McGillicuddy country, but it's gathered here by Paul Murphy. Paul Murphy gets away from his man and now gives it to Niall Donoghue. 7 points to 5. The champions are leading. 2008, of course, the last time that Mid-Kerry won the county championship. That's good possession there. Good work by David Roach in the far side, getting possession back. Here's Darren O'Sullivan. Darren slips it to Peter Crowley, gets away from one, now trying to get away from two. He does. He releases Ronan Murphy at pace, giving it to Darren. Ronan Murphy was going to continue. Darren goes for the post. It's a long one. That's a poor finish from Darren O'Sullivan.
I don't know, did Darren get caught in two minds there, Gary? I don't think he was shooting. He was looking for his club mate Gavin O'Grady for a ball in over the top. As we say, Gavin loves that ball in over the top, and Darren knows that well from playing with him with Glenbid for years. But Gary, what a great interception by David Roach. That's why he's in the team for Mid-Kerry. He went back there, broke up the East Kerry attack and allowed Mid-Kerry get down the field. Paul Hayes is having a word here with Ronan Buckley, I think.
Yeah, second yellow of the night. Second East Kerry man to get a card. Ronan Buckley's got a yellow. 3 points kicked from play now by David Clifford. Is it time to think about a change?
Possibly.
Take Mike Breen off him?
Yeah, possibly. But Gary, to be honest with you, who do you put on that man? You know, if Mike Breen comes out of here tonight keeping David Clifford relatively quiet and Mid-Kerry win, they'll be happy out. But who do you put on a star of that quality? It's hard to tell. It's hard to say.
Dara Roach calling the mark. Calling the mark now. Dara Roach ready to take this one. And this to extend his lead. They're 2 to the good at the moment. Are they 3 to the good? They are indeed.
Yeah, and that's the thing about a free taker like Dara taking a mark in there, Gary. It's like kicking a free, and that's the advantage, I suppose, of the advanced mark. I'm not a fan of it myself, but while it's in the game, players like Dara Roach will take advantage of it. He's a regular free taker. If he wins a mark anywhere inside that 45, he's capable of kicking it over the bar.
Darren O'Sullivan now looks to be gone into the orthodox corner forward position. Another foul by Colin McGillicuddy in the middle of the field. They've lost their way in the middle of the field, Mid-Kerry.
They have, and East Kerry are forcing them out long, Gary. They're forcing Stephen Callahan to go long, and they're winning the battle at the moment out in the middle.
Paddy Clifford to Dara Roach. This is great intertwining work. This is Brendan O'Keefe back again to Dara Roach. Calling for it is Paddy Clifford, 40 yards out from goal. Paddy now, he can swing it on the left. The left is as good as the right. Pa Kilkenny moving in. Little bit of slow build up, but Pa shepherded him out. Second wide for East Kerry.
Yeah, I'm just watching Pa and Paddy there, Gary, off the ball. Oh, there's a little bit of afters here, Gary. David Clifford. I was just about to say, Pa Kilkenny and Paddy Clifford are having an ongoing battle off the ball. Pa, as you can imagine, isn't giving Paddy an inch to breathe, and Paddy has been complaining to the linesman here on this side for quite a while about it, and now his brother is after taking the law into his own hands. And in fairness, right in front of Paul Hayes, he threw a late shoulder on Pa as he ran out, and I think he might get punished for it, Gary.
Well, I didn't see it myself, but Paul Hayes certainly did. It was in front of him. What's the colour to David Clifford? It's a yellow card. That's 3 yellows now for East Kerry.
And Gary, that's a silly yellow by David to pick up. He's having a fabulous game so far. 25 minutes into the game, he's after kicking 3 super scores from play. I know you want to protect your brother and protect your teammate, but Paddy's well able to look after himself. David picked up a yellow card for for nothing really.
8 points to 5. Jack Brosnan going high. The pushing was being done by Shane Cronin, and for not retreating, this ball will be brought forward by Paul Hayes. Paul, of course, refed the semi-final with that I suppose a game that'll never be forgotten, and we must give a lot of credit to Paul Hayes for that night, Sean. He left Crokes and Mid-Kerry. He left that game flow.
Oh, he has, Gary. He did, yeah, sorry, excuse me. And in fairness to him, so far tonight he has as well. And you have 2 teams here who just want to get at it. Paul knows that. A lot of quality footballers on the field. Paul will let them at it tonight.
Here's Liam Kerry now. 5 jerseys around him. Going for the return, not getting it yet from Gavin O'Grady. Gavin, is there a swing? He's trying to call the free. Gets away from 4 of them. How he got out of there, I don't know. Gavin O'Grady, he needs support. Back out again to Liam Kerry. Liam, he'll juggle with it. Outside him there, he had Kieran Kennedy. They're in a corner. Mid-Kerry need to get out of this corner, and that's another wide for Mid-Kerry.
Yeah, Liam has had a good start, but he was probably trying to take on too much there. His clubmate Kieran Kennedy is calling him, telling him he was outside him. Probably took it on too much there. Liam went for a score from a difficult angle. He was surrounded by East Kerry jerseys. But again, look, what is it, 8 points to 5? You know, Mid-Kerry are still finding it that little bit difficult. They need to move it a lot quicker down here, Gary, because the red jerseys pile back when they don't have it.
Jack Sherwood getting the quick out, giving it now to Niall Donoghue. Niall approaching the midfield mark. 6 wides for Mid Kerry so far. 2 wides for East Kerry. East Kerry very much more economical at the moment. This ball is transferred outside here now to Shane Cronin. Shane Cronin, there are 13 Mid Kerry men behind the ball at the moment. Gavin O'Grady and Liam Carey are the only 2 men that are not defending. This is Evan Cronin now. Evan Cronin, ball is played out again to the midfielder Ronan Buckley. In fact, this is Mark Ryan going through. Mark Ryan. David Clifford is making a run from deep. Mike Breen is keeping an eye on him. This is Dara Moynihan going through. He'll shoot a great block inside there by Parrin. He kept his eye on it all the way, Sean.
The captain Gary from Milltown Castlemaine. I think he's got hurt in the challenge. What a great block, brave. Throwing himself down on that shot from Dara Moynihan. Good defending from Mid Kerry. They're doing what East Kerry are doing down this end. They filtered their jerseys back, got their men back, gave East Kerry no chance to get in for a goal or a sniff of a score. And as Dara Moynihan let loose to try and get a point, Pa threw himself with great block, and that's a big boost for your team, Gary. That'll give Mid Kerry a lot of confidence. It'll give the lads up the field a lot of confidence when they see their captain leading by example like that.
Well, Parrin is still down injured, and physio Amy Phelan is out there with him. And he's certainly a man, Sean, that you would not want to be losing.
No, Gary, he's had a very consistent championship as well. He went away from the Mid-Kerry panel there for the last couple of years due to work commitments, I believe. But he's back this year. He was given the captaincy, and by God, he's a great old leader, Pa. They're mad about him in Milltown. He's a great club player. He's getting back to his feet, which will be good for Mid-Kerry. Positive. I think, Gary, do you know what? He might have just got, when he went down there to block that ball, I think he might just got a whack up in the upper body, but he seems fine. It'll be hard to not keep Pa down. He'll be back up in a minute. So far, Gary, coming towards or with a couple of minutes to go to half time, 8 points to 5 to East Kerry. They've been the better team, Gary. There's no doubt they've been the better team.
Yeah.
They haven't blown Mid Kerry off the field by any matter of means. But they have been the better team. But Mid Kerry have still had their moments, and if they could just keep the ball down on this side of the field for the remainder of this half, they could punish East Kerry on the scoreboard.
Gives me a chance to remind you about the Kerry GA Golf Classic on the October the 2nd and October the 9th. O'Mahony's Point in Killarney is the venue. All the details on the Kerry GAA website. Tune in, log in for that if you want more details. It's Peter Crowley trying to get out of a corner, and he, along with Jack Brosnan, have done that. This now, Parrin back again out to Crowley. Love to see this man in full flight. This is David Roach now, who switched wings from the right to the left. Still David Roach trying to pull a free. Wow, he's opened up big time for David Roach, but there was nobody with him. This is Kieran Kennedy from 45 yards out into the night sky. The wides are building up, Sean O'Sullivan.
They are, and it was great work here in the corner, Gary, by a combination of Peter Crowley, Jack Brosnan and Pa Kilkenny. They got out and they got the ball down the field. Unfortunately, no score out of it, and they could have done with it.
Here's Paddy Clifford now. Paddy Clifford will look up. The big brother is inside. Paddy nicely punched away from him by Pa Kilkenny. Kilkenny will go in again, and with the help of Fiacre Clifford, they're both dispossessed. Paddy Clifford. This now is David Roach. David Roach. Space now for Mid Kerry, but they need to penetrate this defence. They need to get the scores on the board. This is Liam Carey now. Liam Carey, Fiacre Clifford is there with him. So too is Darren, the man that brought Sam Maguire to Glenbeigh. This is Darren O'Sullivan inside to David Roach. It's open up again for David Roach. David Roach will shoot from here. He'll score, surely. Great score from David Roach.
Great score, Gary, but again, that came from Pa Kilkenny. He's giving Paddy Clifford a very difficult night so far. Turned Clifford over in the middle of the field, and Mid Kerry launched the attack, got it into Liam Carey. He was patient this time. Liam didn't force it. David Roach broke the tackle, and a good score from Mid Kerry. They needed it, Gary.
There will be 4 minutes of additional time at the end of this half. 4 minutes to play at the end of this. We're on 29, almost on 30. Paddy Clifford came out to the manager, Jerry O'Sullivan, and asked him for gloves. Would you believe it? Paddy's now wearing the gloves. He'd probably be much happier with that. That's a tackle by Kieran Kennedy on Ronan Buckley, again lucky to get away without it ticking. Kieran Kennedy, it was very close, borderline to a card, but Paul Hayes decided not to give it. It's now the centre forward, Paddy Clifford, although it's hard to see him, he never really plays around centre forward, taking on Pa Kilkenny, losing it in the tackle again. Unfortunately, things are not going right for Paddy Clifford so far,
they're
Sean.
not, Gary, but I'm telling you, Pa Kilkenny's having a storming game, and Pa was told one job tonight, Pa. You shut him down if you can, and so far it's the advantage Kilkenny.
Here is Fiacre Clifford again, 4 jerseys around him. Fiacre, he must find space. He finds Gavin O'Grady. Jack Sherwood with him. It's a high one for Darren. Darren will go through. Darren takes the shoulder. Still Darren O'Sullivan. He'll have to put it now on the right peg. How good is the right? It's off the upright. and no Mid-Kerry man to avail of it.
No, and there was the Darren of old there taking the ball at pace off his clubmate Gavin, but in fairness, there was red jerseys back there. They weren't going to give Darren that run in on goal. They hit him with a nice shoulder. He's still feeling the effects of it onto his right.
Great ball from Sherwood, but Peter Crowley cuts it out, was looking for Dara Moynihan. Eventually it's got him. Sliding tackle by Peter Crowley. I think that would be a free in, Sean.
Yeah, he's given a free. Yeah, it's a free in. Paul Hayes has his hand up for a free. It was there, the ball was there. Peter probably didn't need to slide in it, but free, however, to East Kerry.
Now Paddy Clifford again trying to get on the ball. This time he'll round Kilkenny if he can. Pat Kilkenny sticking with him. It's still Paddy Clifford. The glove seems to have worked now. He have a better grip on the ball. Outside it goes to Dara Moynihan. Dara Moynihan calling for it over here. Is his two midfielders actually, Ronan Buckley and Mark Ryan. But this now is Paul Murphy. Paul gives it outside to Dan Donoghue, the captain. We'll play to 34 minutes. We're on 31. It's an 8 points to 6 lead. The mark called by Evan Cronin. He'll continue on. He'll slot this one. He won't, because Paul Hayes will bring him back because he called the mark.
He called the mark, exactly. Yeah, it was kicked from outside the 45. Paul Hayes blew his whistle for the mark. Evan Cronin put his hand up, but then he continued on. But once you put that hand up to indicate you've called the mark, you have to then kick your free. You have 15 seconds to kick your free. Now it's still a kick in for Evan Cronin, even though he continued on. It's still a kick for him from here, which is a tough enough kick for Evan off his right foot from the right hand side. But he's well capable of it. A very, very good sharpshooter, Evan. He's going to go for it, Gary.
Going to go for it, I think. I thought he was going short for a while, but Peter O'Sullivan having a word with Brendan Griffin down here over something. 8 points to 6. His side trail by 2 as he pulled it to the right. He has not. He has knelt it. Great score.
Beautiful score, Gary. Yeah, we saw that right behind us. Yeah, no doubt. Off the beautiful score, sliced into it. Beautiful kick. Not a puff of breeze, of course, over the bar. And a 9-6 lead for East Kerry coming up to half time.
Coming up to half time. This is Parren. We have a minute to go now. A 3-point lead for the reigning champions. David Mangan now plays the ball outside again to the far side. Let's look like David Roach that's over there again. Hand is up by the referee. That will be advantage to Mid-Kerry with Liam Carey. Liam Carey 2 points from frees, 2 points from play in this first half. That's a good return. Still Carey. Gavin O'Grady there with him, with the amount of red jerseys that are back there is unbelievable to look at. Fiacre Clifford trying it from a tight angle. That's another wide. 8 wide, Sean.
Yeah, and Gary, Mid-Kerry coming into this game for the neutrals, if they were to, bother East Kerry and put pressure on East Kerry, that's where their Achilles heel was going to be. They need at least 4 or 5 of those to go over. It's too many wides for Mid-Kerry at the moment, whereas East Kerry have had very, very, very little wides, and that could be the difference at the end of the day, Gary.
We're 30 seconds shy of the half-time break. Peter Crowley should be able to win this one. He does, ahead there of Evan Cronin. Down to the last 20 seconds of this first half. It's Ronan Murphy. Ronan Murphy now holding possession. Over there again, David Roche involved in Darren O'Sullivan, and this now is Colin McGillicuddy. Colin McGillicuddy, the runner was Roach. This is Liam Carey now. He'll go through, trying to pull a free. Carey gives it outside to Mike Breen. Mike Breen back to Carey. We have played the 34. The hand is up, which means it's a free into Mid-Kerry.
Yeah, should be the last kick of the first half, Gary, you would expect. And if Mid-Kerry could get this score, bring it back to 2 points, and it's going to definitely be a score now because it was moved in for some back chat to Paul Hayes. He won't stand for that. So this should be a tap over for Gavin to bring it to 9-7 at half time, Gary. And Mid-Kerry, even though they've been very wasteful in front of goals, they'll be quite happy with that. 2 points down at half time, the county final against the reigning champions and hot favourites. But they need to tidy up in front of the goals, Gary, if they're going to have a chance of winning this. Yeah,
and I think Liam Carey's actually down injured. Gavin O'Grady was willing to take the free, but he has decided to wait until his teammate is back on his feet. And Shane Ryan is coming out now to chat with Paul Hayes.
Yeah, I think Liam might be carrying this knock from earlier in the game. Actually, Gary, he got a knock down here in front of us down in the left-hand corner, facing down towards the horns end, I suppose you'd call it. And he seems to be still carrying the effects of that. Now he's playing well, and this should be another score for him. I'm sure you'll tell us what he scored in a minute, but he's definitely carrying something. But so far he's working along, and another score for him there.
And another score for Liam Carey, and that is the last action of this first half, Sean. 9 points to 7.
9 points to 7 to East Kerry, Gary. And as I say, they're definitely the better team. You think there's probably more in them that they can go up a gear. Mid-Kerry have defended quite well, Gary. In fairness, they haven't looked, in major trouble back there. They haven't conceded any big goal chances. they'll have to tidy up in the forwards, though. They've missed quite a bit, but so far so good.
So far so good. It's time now to bring you the Jubilee team, who of course are not here this evening, but we're going to go back to the year of 1995 when Lown Rangers were the county champions. Then we can now speak to some members from a way back when in 1995. Bring the year that was 1995 when Lown Rangers were the county champions. Well, Sean, if you were to fly in both camps, who would be the happier manager here this evening?
I think East Kerry will be happier, Gary. They knew that, you know, they're up against a good Mid-Kerry team here. Now, I don't think the Mid-Kerry performance has really gone at East Kerry yet. I know they're still in the game at 9 points to 7. They'll be very disappointed with their wide tally, Gary. 8 wides. The majority of those wides has come from really Mid-Kerry shooting from too far out and from difficult angles. You know, very, very sloppy wides, you call them. Whereas East Kerry have been a lot more economical up the other side of the field. They've only 2 wides to their credit, but they're kicking the ball from better positions, Gary, when they're going for their scores. I think Mid-Kerry have to look at keeping more forwards up the field. I know they're playing a containment game at the moment where they're dropping fellas back the field to cut out the space for East Kerry. But if Mid-Kerry are going to win this, Gary, they're going to have to keep more forwards up the field, I think.
Well, I don't think there's any changes in personnel. We'll have a look down through both sides. Doesn't seem that there is, but it is now advantage for the champions. They lead 9 points to 7. Paul Hayes starts the second half, and first touch is for Ronan Murphy of Mid-Kerry. Ronan Murphy going deep into East Kerry territory. Murphy looking up now. Peter Crowley was beginning his run. The referee said there was an accidental clash between himself and Mark Ryan. Possession still with Mid-Kerry. And Liam Carey, he's been their top scorer of this first half. Peter Crowley now. Back again it goes to Ronan Murphy. Ronan Murphy on the sideline. Back it goes to Kerry again, looking for the gap, unable to find that gap so far. Was there a touch on the ground there? Well, lucky if he gets away with it. I thought that was a free out to East Kerry, but great defending from Brendan O'Keefe, Sean.
Yeah, but again, Mid-Kerry going down cul-de-sacs, Kerry. I know Liam Carey tried to take it on with a bit of pace, but he was never going to get there, and East Kerry come out with it.
Great grab by Evan Cronin. Cronin plays the ball back here now to Brendan O'Keefe again, the man that did that defending for a while. Back with East Kerry's Niall Donoghue. Ball is poked away from him now. The run is on for Gavin O'Grady. Hasn't scored in his first half. It's evident that he is carrying an injury, but fair play to Chris O'Donoghue as well, who's done a great marking job on him. This referee looking now. In fact, the hand does go up and the free is given to Gavin O'Grady.
Yeah, Gary, in fairness to Kieran Kennedy there, he tussled away with East Kerry as they were coming out. The ball fell on the floor. Kennedy just got a toe to it, booted into the corner. Gavin was on his toes, won his ball and won the free eventually. But definitely, Gary, Gavin O'Grady is definitely not playing at 100%. You can see it in him. He's not kicking any of the frees. Now, he probably wouldn't be kicking this one anyway because it'd be from his wrong side. But you know he's carrying an injury. How long more he's going to last? In fairness to him, any ball that's gone in, he's won it. But he just hasn't had the power to take it on.
Very tight angle. How good is this? Is there a white flag? There isn't. It's a miss from Liam Carey. That's wide number 9 in total.
Yeah, and you just worry, Gary, as those wides stack up for Mid-Kerry. That all gives East Kerry confidence, and it just takes the confidence away from Mid-Kerry a little bit.
Great catch by Dara Moynihan. Dara now plays it outside here to the wing, to these other wing forward. Brendan O'Keefe continuing his run from deep as Ronan Buckley, the Listry man. Ronan Buckley now, he'll check his stride, he'll check his run, he'll hold on to possession for the moment. David Clifford made himself available. Clifford has all on his own, isn't Dara Moynihan, if they can pick him out. Mid-Kerry went totally asleep, but David Clifford didn't spot that he was loose inside. There was a let off. This is Paul Murphy, 45 yards out from goal. Paul Murphy with a high one for Roach. The ball is going to win this race. First wide for East Kerry in the second half.
It was a difficult ball by Paul. Colin McGillicuddy doing his usual defensive work from Mid-Kerry. He had got back in front of Parrain. It was going to be a great ball if they had got it into Roach. I've been impressed with Ronan Buckley, Gary. He's doing a lot of work for East Kerry, bringing them on the attack, back defending. Good performance so far from the Listry man.
Here is Pa Kilkenny. Pa Kilkenny calling for it now. Mike Breen from Beaufort. Mike Breen. There he goes, right past midfield. Still Mike Breen. He's covered about 45, 50, make it 60 yards. Still Mike Breen, the centre back. Gives it now to Gavin O'Grady. He might try from outside here. He won't. He'll hold possession. Fiacre Clifford calling for it. Back again it goes to Mike Breen as he got his breath back after that fantastic run. This now is Liam Carey, his clubmate from Beaufort. Still Liam Carey now. Liam Carey. Clifford is outside to his left from the banks of the Lown. Fiacre Clifford now trying to find a gap. Trying is the word. Falling as he strikes. It should be the goalkeepers. That's a poor finish.
Yeah, it is, Gary, and again it's a shot from about 35 yards out under pressure. Mid-Kerry are just making wrong decisions when they get the ball in there, Gary, and it could cost them at the end of the evening.
Paul Murphy getting the ball from Brendan O'Keefe about 50 yards out from his own goal. This now selling the little sidestep is Ronan Buckley. His stats at the moment says he's got a point, but he's also got a yellow card. He'll have to watch himself. This is another man, Dara Moynihan, who's got a point from play. Still Dara Moynihan now running at them. Every time they run at Mid-Kerry, they're in a little bit of trouble. Here's David Clifford. Clifford! What a goal! From about 30 yards out into the roof of the net.
Gary, come with the man, come with the hour, come with the man. You know, Dara Moynihan got inside. Clifford made a nice little dart. Got the ball onto his right foot. There was no chance of a point, Gary. He was going for the net. Bang. Stephen Callahan didn't even move. That is a huge score for East Kerry and a huge score in this game, Gary.
That could be the winning of the county championship. David Clifford fouled Mike Breen. The referee was very late in giving the free, but it was a free. It was a clumsy foul by David Clifford. It's hotting up a little bit outside there now, but he had nothing else in his mind there, Sean, only net.
No, Gary, the minute that ball came into his hand, turned it onto his right hand side, he saw the corner and he just went for that top corner off the right foot. Pace, power, accuracy, Gary, he has it all. Stephen Callahan might have been a little bit flat-footed, maybe thinking he was going to go across him. Didn't even move, Gary. Top corner, and that's a special goal from a special player. And now, Gary, 1-9 to 7 points. You think as a neutral that would be the score that Mid-Kerry needed really to keep this game as a contest. East Kerry now, it's in their control. The game is being played at their pace, and it's going to be a long road back for Mid-Kerry. But if they can just get up the field and react to that score, keep themselves in the game, you never know, but it's a tough ask.
And 1-3 from play for David Clifford. We might be, am I right in saying maybe that maybe Mr. Peter Crowley's gone marking him now, Sean?
By the looks of it at the moment, anyway, Gary, from this break of play, but we'll have to see. Mike Breen might be moved off him, but and Peter Crowley was near him that time, so possibly.
Here is Peter Crowley, slipping it nicely to David Mangan. Is there a reaction? Is there a kick in Mid-Kerry? Well, they had an epic semi-final. Has it taken its toll? Has it taken a lot out of it? The isolated there is David Mangan. He needs to spill this ball. He needs to make it go loose. Fiachra Mangan does very well to get possession back for Mid-Kerry. Still Fiachra Clifford going through. Referee Paul Hayes saw nothing. The swarming is brilliant by East Kerry.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Gary. You have to credit them. They're playing a very, very good game when they don't have the ball off the ground there by David Clifford. He's back here helping, but he just touched it on the ground. So a chance of a reprieve for Mid-Kerry. Great defensive work. I mean, that's David Clifford, your corner forward, back helping out. That just sums it up, really.
Liam Carey to take the free. David Clifford touching the ball on the ground. 1-9 to 7 points now. Game has opened up a little bit in favour of the reigning champions. Fiachra Clifford going for the post. He's pulled this one right and wide. In total, that is 10 wides.
Another wide, Gary, and another shot under pressure from distance. You know, East Kerry won't mind Mid-Kerry taking shots like that. They'll let them have shots like that all night. They don't want them taking shots from inside in the D, and so far Mid-Kerry just haven't been able to penetrate them inside.
Long ball, great ball into space, and this Paddy Clifford. Paddy is going through. Another goal here for Mid-Kerry. Oh, that's a grilling finish by Dara Roach.
Yeah, a long ball over the top, Gary. Paddy Clifford got onto it, slipped it inside to Dara Roach. Paddy drew the Mid-Kerry defender, slipped it inside to Roach, and an unerring finish from Roach. He's been quite enough tonight, Gary, but an inside forward. When you get your chance for a goal, you got to stick it, and by God did he stick it. That's a huge goal for East Kerry, and it looks a long way back now for Mid-Kerry, Gary.
Well, it's back to the wall stuff now for Mid-Kerry, and this is Jack Brosnan on the far side. A little bit of a collision in the middle of the field. The referee will keep an eye on what happened there. Brendan O'Keefe was involved there, and so too was the Mid-Kerry man. In fact, there's two collisions over there now. It might have been Ronan Murphy, was it? I'm not quite sure, but it's heating up a little bit, Sean.
It is, Gary, you know, but East Kerry have come out since the start of the second half, and they've just really, really upped the ante, Gary. Mid-Kerry have had no answer. They've been slow and lethargic up front as they go short here now to Kieran Kennedy.
Kieran Kennedy from Beaufort inside to Gavin O'Grady. Is that a runner from deep? There isn't. Gavin will have to take on Chris O'Donoghue. Donoghue has marked him every inch of the way tonight. This is Peter Crowley looking for the gap. Still Crowley slipping it inside for Gavin O'Grady. He'll try and work. He might be looking for the penalty. He's travelling, says the referee, in a free out.
Yeah, and again, Gary, look how many red jerseys back there. I'm counting 1, 2, 3. There's at least 6 jerseys back, all defending. They know now they have a 2-9 to 7 point lead. If they don't ship any cheap goals, they'll be county champions again tonight. Mid Kerry just have to keep plugging away. They might find a gap, but even there, Gavin, got a ball. Usually we'd see Gavin Grady taking on his man. He just didn't have the power. He's definitely carrying an injury, which hasn't helped his performance.
Mid Kerry are about to make a change. I see that coming in will be Cavelin Tehan in the next few minutes. It's a long ball. It should be Peter Crowley's if he can win the sprint for this one. Crowley puts down the burners, takes the hit against Dara Roach and stands up to it. The inter-county man Crowley came to the rescue there. This is with Mike Bree now. An early goal is what's required now from Mid Kerry. Hard to see them doing it on points, even though we're only 8 minutes into the second half, Sean.
Yeah, and look, Gary, the wides will obviously come back to haunt them. Those wides that they've been, particularly in the first half. But look, they've got to keep plugging away, Gary. They haven't dropped the heads. They've conceded 2 goals, but they'll keep playing away. They won't die. These fellas, I know a lot of them. They'll keep at it. As Caleb Tehan enters the fray here, he's coming on for Fiacre Clifford. But in fairness to the management, they're trying to change it up a little bit to see can they get something going.
Yes, that's the substitution for Mid Kerry. Cavelin Tehan is going to come in to replace Fiacre Clifford. That is the change made by the Mid Kerry management. And of course, Jack O'Connor was a man that did feature Sean in the semi-final. He's worth a shot, maybe. Yeah,
he's a young guy, Jack. We'll probably see him at some stage. He's and he played a vital role in their quarter-final win over Kinmare as well. Caleb Tehan just brings you that energy. He'll get on the ball. He's a real good link man. Plays very, very well. Can play in different positions for his club as well. So we'll see how he goes.
Long ball driven inside to the East Kerry full back line. There's a break inside of there, but the break is expertly won inside there. Chris O'Donoghue and Jack Sherwood. They've dealt with everything that's been thrown their way. High, low, you name it. They have missed nothing. This is Chris O'Donoghue that's coming out of this one. Chris O'Donoghue fouled by Darren O'Sullivan. He'll be lucky if he doesn't get a wagging of the finger here, or maybe a card from the referee.
Yeah, when that ball broke again, Gary, who was back there? Only Ronan Buckley, the Lestry man, bringing the ball out again for his team. I have to say I've been very, very impressed with him. Even though he's picked up a yellow card, he's got through an amount of work for his side. And look, at the moment, Gary, it's all East Kerry. They have all the aces in the pack. They're causing the Mid Kerry full back line fierce problems, and it's just a case now of can they see this out and win back-to-back championships.
The fourth yellow card of the night, the first for Mid Kerry, and Darren O'Sullivan is the man that's got that yellow card. This ball driven inside to the corner, up they'll go for it. There's a race for possession for this one, and again it is the great David Clifford inside there involved, but fighting his corner is David Mangan, the Lone Rangers man. David gives it outside to Colin McGillicuddy, being quite enough by his own standards this evening. We haven't seen much of McGillicuddy. He's a top class midfielder, but he's not left play by this East Kerry team. This is Cavelin Tehan now taking on Brendan O'Keefe. Still Tehan holding possession, giving it back now to Liam Carey. They need something special from Carey. Back again it goes to Tehan. McGillicuddy continued his run, and this is the tall midfielder McGillicuddy. Gives it back now again to Liam Carey, trying to get inside Paul Murphy. Still Carey going through. Has he taken steps? He hasn't. It's going to be a free in to Liam Carey.
Yeah, but again, Gary, Liam had to work very, very hard there to find an opening. There was a lot of red jerseys back there. Okay, he used his pace, he got in, he won his free, and he'll pop this over the bar. But that's all Mid Kerry seemed to have. He's going for a goal, Gary, and again, that's probably a wrong option. Ball's gone wide. There was a wrong option there from Liam. He should have just popped that over the bar and got his team on the scoreboard again. But look, it's a bit early to be going for goals maybe, but again, he had to work very hard even to draw that free. And East Kerry are dropping men back and giving Mid Kerry no space at all.
The signs of a frustrated effort there from Liam Carey, but Mid Kerry will have to keep the heads up, because East Kerry are not champions for nothing. They are going for back-to-backs. It's a long time, even since before that. You'll have to go back to the late 90s, since it was that great East Kerry team that were involved in county championship wins in 97, 98 and 99. But this team are just as good at the moment, and they lead 2-9 to 7 points. Paddy Clifford spraying it into space again. Race for possession for this one. The race is going to be won by Evan Cronin. He got inside David Mangan easily enough, and Evan Cronin splits the posts.
Yeah, Gary, look, forwards win games for you. It's as simple as that. And East Kerry have just shown that since the start of the second half, that their forwards are just more accurate. They're on their game. They're scoring at will now, whereas up the other end, Mid Kerry just can't seem to get the scores just as easy. That's the difference, Gary. Forwards win the games for you.
And Dara Moynihan Plays it back now to Paul Murphy. Paul Murphy's continuous pressure by East Kerry at the moment. Paul Murphy gaining possession again. Gets inside Darren O'Sullivan. He's about 60 yards out from goal. Paul Murphy. All they need to do is to keep possession. Possession now is with Niall Donoghue. Niall Donoghue transfers it outside to Dara Moynihan. Approaching the 45-metre line. Dara Moynihan. Still Moynihan. He's got 1 point from play so far. This is Evan Cronin, who's got 2 from play and a free. Lovely footwork at the moment by East Kerry. Continuing with possession is Dara Moynihan outside to Brendan O'Keefe. He along with Paddy Clifford have yet to score in this contest. They may do so before the 70 minutes or thereabouts is up. Centre half back Dan Donoghue, the captain. At the moment you'd fancy him going up the steps rather than Parrin to collect the Bishop Moynihan. Possession now again with Dan O'Donoghue. Plays it outside to Mark Green. How many steps has that been, or how many passes has that been? Jack O'Connor of Beaufort is about to come in for Mid-Kerry, but it is Mark Ryan. Relentless pressure now by East Kerry. The way they're playing at the moment, you'd think they had an extra man inside there, but it is 15 against 15 when they run at Mid-Kerry. They are in trouble. Here's a chance played outside here for the effort for a point, and that's another white flag raised.
Yeah, over the bar, Gary, and just simple football, but they're all so comfortable on the ball, Gary. They've worked it all out here to the far side. Again, Ronan Buckley had found himself in loads of space and eventually found its way. I think it was Darrell Roach, found him. So there's an East Kerry man down over in I think Peter Crowley met him going in with a shoulder, but out to Darrell Roach onto his left foot and over the bar. And Gary, it just sums up really the difference between the two teams. East Kerry found that score again easy to come by, whereas Mid-Kerry having to work very hard as they make another substitution.
Yes, number 24 Jack O'Connor of Beaufort is in for his clubmate Kieran Kennedy, who stats tells us that he scored 1 free tonight. So they're showing the signs of champions now, East Kerry, haven't they?
They are, Gary, absolutely. And look, that's what champions do. They when they haven't been going at full tilt, they can just up their game. And certainly since the half-time break, East Kerry just went through the gears, really. And, Clifford's goal was obviously outstanding. Stephen Callan maybe caught a little bit flat-footed, but no doubting the quality of the goal. And then the second sucker punch from Mid-Kerry was Darrell Roach's goal, which really looks to have put the game beyond them. But, Gary, that's why East Kerry are champions and look to be the team that could dominate Kerry football for the next 3 or 4 years, because they're not going away and they want to win more medals.
Quickly taken line ball over there, and again consternation in the defence, and it's the man inside, Evan Cronin, who's doing most of the damage inside there. Here's another chance. This is another point pulled to the left and wide. 2 substitutes about to come in for East Kerry, Mike Foley and Dan O'Brien.
Yeah, and the one thing that can happen with Kerry now, Gary, is that it just turns into all one-way traffic. They have to keep their heads up. It's not going their way. It's obviously not looking like they're going to win the game, but at least finished out now the last quarter, last 20 minutes with a bit of pride and get some scores on the board.
Brendan O'Keefe doing well, getting it there ahead of Jack Brosnan. This now again is Dara Moynihan from Spa. After him is Caelan Tehan. Still Dara Moynihan going through. Referee was going to give a free. He doesn't have to, because it's going to be another point for Dara Moynihan.
Yeah, Moynihan particularly has been superb in this start to the second half, Gary. He's just got on the ball, making things happen for East Kerry as we come to the water break here in the second half. But Mid-Kerry have had no answer to it, Gary. The score at half time was 9 points to 7. Mid-Kerry haven't registered a score in the second half.
16 minutes, Sean.
16 minutes, and that just sums it up, really. Whereas, East Kerry have tagged on 2 goals and 3 points. That's the difference, Gary, as I keep going back to it. When you have forwards of that capability in East Kerry, they'll punish you if you don't get your own scores. And Mid-Kerry tonight just couldn't rack up the scores themselves up the other end, and East Kerry proved their strength and their dominance right after the half-time break, and that's why they're champions.
Cathal Moriarty thinking of coming in as well for Mid-Kerry. There's not a lot that Peter O'Sullivan and his management can say now to his side. They'll be bitterly disappointed with that 16 minutes.
They'll be gutted, Gary. They'll be gutted. And look, all he can say, there's not much you can say as a manager in that position, but all you can say now is that, look, lads, we have a quarter left. We've 15 minutes to go. Okay, it looks like we're swimming against the tide here a little bit, but at least let's go out and, we've had a good year. Let's finish out this last quarter with a lot of positivity. Let's get a score anyway, because we haven't scored yet. Let's get a couple of scores on the board, and let's try and at least win the last quarter and make it competitive. And at least we can walk out of here tonight, even though we might lose, with something to look back on, for a good year, but let's not just lie down now and let them walk all over us and put up a big score.
Sean, you were mentioning forwards win games for you. If you look at the stats at the moment, I only talk about from play. Dara Moynihan with 2 points, David Clifford with 1-3, Dara Roach with 1-1, Evan Cronin with 2 points. They're just the ones from play.
Yeah, that's it, Gary, and that's the difference when you compare that to what Mid Kerry have. Liam Carey's done the bulk of the scoring. I think he's only kicked 2 from play or 3 from play.
2 from play, and David Roach 1.
And David Roach. It's look, Gary, you don't need to be an expert in football to look at those stats. That sums it up. You have one forward line who have operated brilliantly, and you have the other one who just has struggled, and unfortunately that's the difference.
Cathal Moriarty is in to take his place. Number 23.
And there's another substitution from Mid Kerry as well, Gary.
Mike Foley's in for Brendan O'Keefe.
That's for East Kerry, yeah, and for Mid Kerry 26, Jonathan O'Sullivan. Jonathan O'Sullivan from Milltown Castlemaine. Number 26 is Gavin Horn, from Milltown Castlemaine is in. Not quite sure who he's come in for, but he's in at the moment anyway.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Gavin Horn and Milltown Castlemaine, and there's in fact 4 substitutions made there in one go. Mid Kerry have possession in the middle of the field, but they're starved for football. They're starved for scores, and they need one at big time. The big midfielder Ronan Murphy coming through, losing the ball in the tackle. I am so impressed by the defending by East Kerry tonight.
Yeah,
Sean.
and they all defend, Gary. They all defend, and it's not just a token efforts. They all get back. They tackle hard. They make it very difficult for the opposition.
Here now again is this is David Clifford. David Clifford with ball inside the 45-metre line. David Clifford plays it outside again to the Dan O'Brien from Glenflesk. Now there's a slow build up again. Clifford on the 45. Has he knelt this one? It's gone right between the posts. 1-4 from play for David Clifford.
Yeah, Gary, and look, you kind of run out of superlatives for this guy. I mentioned in my paper column during the week that he's had a quiet year, and by his standards he has, but obviously he saves his best for the big day. But it's just the backlift that he gets. He kicked that standing, Gary, really, and straight over the bar with plenty to spare. Just a superb operator.
Mike Breen fouled for that kick out. There is, of course, the man of the match, and hopefully at the end of this game we will have a word with the winning manager and with the man of the match. At the moment, you'd put your house on David Clifford being the man that will get that nice little prize as well, which is going with tonight. 1-4 from play, and it's great. With the season coming for Kerry and Peter Kane, it's great to see the form that Clifford is in.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Gary. And look, he's timed, he's run well. As I say, he hasn't lit up the championship. He's still been very good, but compared to his standards, maybe not at the heights that we've seen him in recent years. But by God, tonight he has shown that he's coming in. He's just beginning to purr, and possibly at a great time for Kerry.
A yellow card for Gavin O'Grady. I think a frustrating yellow card more than anything, Sean, for Gavin, because it is very evident. Now, give credit to Chris O'Donoghue and the defence.
Oh, yeah.
They have done an expert job inside there.
Absolutely.
But Gavin O'Grady is not at full throttle.
No, he's not, Gary. He's not. And it was disappointing when I heard during the week that Gavin was carrying a bit of an injury, because you knew, on one of your biggest days in your career, a county final, Gavin's played in a few. Carrying an injury into it is just not ideal. He's been, he's soldiered away. He's done what he can, but carrying an injury like that, Gary, at a game and played at this pace is just not ideal, but that's the way it goes, unfortunately.
Sean O'Brien of Beaufort is about to come into the action. We'll continue with the action, and number 17 is Mike Foley. He is the man, of course, that replaced David Clifford when David was suspended for the semi-final.
That's right, not a bad replacement to bring in Mike Foley, a guy who's worn the Kerry jersey himself at different levels. That was good tracking back there by Caleb Tehan. He tracked all the way back and forced Foley out over the line. Gary, it's for themselves, Mid Kerry really need to get up the field and at least start forcing a few frees, start getting on the ball up here in the final third and getting a few scores on the board if they can.
David Roach is the man taken off, and going in, as I said, is O'Brien. Sean O'Brien wearing the number 19, possession back again with the 19. He's an O'Brien as well, but that's Dan O'Brien. This now is Ronan Buckley into space, won by Pa Kilkenny inside there. Referee says go back. He wasn't giving the advantage to Pa Kilkenny.
Yeah, Gary, I have to say that he's been the bright spark of the Mid-Kerry performance, Pa Kilkenny. He's shut Paddy Clifford down completely. He's had a super game, in fairness to Pa. He's back in the Kerry panel as well, which is great, so hopefully good things to come for Pa.
Position now, Gavin Horan for Mid-Kerry. an awful stat to say that in 22 minutes of the second half, Mid-Kerry have yet to score. 9-7 at half time. It's now 2-13 and Mid-Kerry are still on 7 points. They won't be happy with that. Evan Cronin drives it long inside. There are so many willing runners that go from right to left and inside and outside, and this is one of them. Paddy Clifford, one of the best in the business for getting on ball. Paddy will spray it across looking for Evan Cronin, but it's cut out for once inside there. There's not too many times that Paddy Clifford has put balls straight tonight.
No.
He has lost a few balls when he's in possession, but his passing has been good.
Yeah, and that one I think he should have just gone short to Darragh Roach and maybe taken a 1-2. He went for a long one into Evan Cronin, but again Colin McGillicuddy back helping out, intercepted, and Mid-Kerry come up the field looking for their first score of the second half, Gary.
Like Foley doing very good defending. Quavelin Tehan now. Tehan still holding on to possession for Mid-Kerry. They'll be bitterly disappointed with this performance. After the heroics of the Dr. Crokes 320 to 319, they were really up for this one this evening, but they will be so disappointed. This is a huge effort from Liam Kerry, but that in total, Sean, is 12 wides this evening.
And Gary, I think that move there and final effort by Liam just sums up Mid-Kerry. They've moved the ball down along the sideline into cul-de-sacs, not with any great pace. Finally comes out to a guy around the 45-yard line, 35-yard line, and they try a shot, and it goes wide. That's just been the story of their night, Gary. Those shots are difficult to take on at the best of times, but in a county final up against a good defence like East Kerry, it's just, it hasn't worked out for them, and I think that's been their downfall tonight. Even though you got to take your hats off, East Kerry have been by far the better team.
7 minutes now of normal time to be played. This is Paul Murphy. It's going to be back-to-back county championships for this great East Kerry team, and with the way things are coming through in the minors and the under 20 age group, this district board will be in the business end of things for a long time to come, you would imagine. Possession now with Niall Donoghue from Fireys, giving it to Dan Donoghue. Dan Donoghue now, hand passing it nicely inside to Clifford. Lovely vision, and Clifford is seeing that they centre back. Dan Donoghue continued his run. It's a high one inside, but it's going to be dealt with inside for once by the full back in Park Kilkenny.
Yeah, and I have to say, Gary, I know viewers at home will probably say with East Kerry have 2-13 up on the board. Mid-Kerry haven't defended awfully bad. I know they conceded 2 goals. One was an absolute cracker from Clifford, and another one was a breakaway move and a great finish by Darragh Roach. But in fairness to Mid-Kerry, they've defended quite well, I have to say.
Jeff O'Donoghue and Brian O'Donoghue are about to come in for East Kerry. This is Niall Donoghue. Niall plays it back to Darragh Roach again. Oh, this could wrap it up seriously now, but a good interception by David Mangan.
Yeah, and again, great defending by Mangan. That's what I'm saying, Gary. Okay, it was last ditch, but it's been very good defending. So unfortunately for Mid-Kerry, it's up this side of the field that they've had the problem. I think their backs have been decent enough, even though conceding 2-13 isn't great, but their backs have played quite well. It's up front they've struggled.
Here's Gavin O'Grady taking on Donoghue, the cornerback. Chris he's run into a cul-de-sac, but I think the referee has given him a free in the benefit of the doubt. 2 subs to come in for East Kerry. Number 24 Jeff O'Donoghue, and number 18 Brian O'Donoghue. Yeah,
and I mean, you're bringing in 2 very, very good high quality club footballers there, Gary, in Jeff and in Brian, two Dinflesmen, who are top club players, and that's the quality that East Kerry have on their bench, Gary. They can bring those players in whenever they feel like it, and as I say, Gary, they're going to win 2 county championships back to back. It's going to take a very, very good team to stop them doing another couple in a row, because they have that quality not only in their first 15 but in their panel of 30.
The 2 Cronins, Evan and Shane, seem to be the guys that are being substituted. This looks to be the first score of the second half for Mid-Kerry after 26 minutes, Sean.
Yeah, and that's disappointing for them. The lads will go home tonight, Gary. They'll be disappointed with the second half performance. As I say, I know a lot of them. I was messaging them today with the best wishes, and they were all, quietly confident that they were going to throw their lot at East Kerry. But look, it just hasn't happened for them, Gary. They've come up against a very, very good side, even though they'll be disappointed with their own performance.
And a good kick out into the middle of the field, and Paddy Clifford goes high and brings it down. That's what I mean. He hasn't scored tonight, but by God, he's been involved in nearly all of the scores that are going in. And this is another chance for East Kerry. Have we got another white flag, Sean? We have.
Yeah.
Just can't pick up the guy that scored this one now.
Yeah, he'll turn his back in a minute. We'll get his number, Gary. But a great ball out into the midfield. Paddy Clifford rose highest and popped it in. And East Kerry, another beautiful score. And they're just adding to their tally here now, Gary.
Well, doing their very best to try and get something on the scoreboard if they can. And again, possession round the middle there for Mid-Kerry. Holding on to possession, but not penetrating at the moment. And still long one out. Cavelin Tehan. That score was by Brian O'Donoghue, the number 18. This is Gavin O'Grady and getting his first score of the night.
Yeah, great ball in from Calum. Gavin peeled off the back, and in fairness, that's something that Mid-Kerry try quite a bit. They didn't get an opportunity to do it a lot tonight. Gavin just peeled in off the back and got a score on the board for him, even though, as we keep saying, he just hasn't been at his best tonight with an injury. East Kerry running the changes, Gary. Dara Moynihan coming off. I thought Dara's been absolutely outstanding in the second half. When East Kerry needed somebody to stand up, he was been absolutely superb, particularly in the first quarter.
And Padraig Doyle of Guinevere is the man that has come in for Dara Moynihan. 2 points from play. He'll be happy with his performance. Dara Moynihan, certainly another man that will feature prominently in the Kerry senior squad for years to come, I would imagine. Ronan Buckley, we're going through the motions now. 2 minutes to go before we have the allotted extra time, but it's going to be back-to-back county championships for East Kerry. And who's to say they won't add to this scoreline? Getting his first touch of the ball is Padraig Doyle over there. Ball is transferred inside now to Dara Roach, another man, that leading light up inside in that full forward line. He, along with David Clifford. Good defending by David Mangan. You mentioned Pa Kilkenny. He and David Mangan have been outstanding for me.
Very good, Gary. Very good, yeah. And I mean, Pa Kilkenny was given the unenviable role of picking up Paddy Clifford for the night. Not easy to do. He's kept Paddy scoreless. I know you said Paddy's been involved in a lot for East Kerry. He passed into Dara Roach for his goal. But in fairness, I have to say Pa has been excellent. And young David Mangan, really, really impressed with him, Gary. He's an excellent tackler. He's got a very, very good future in front of him. I really like his style. And there's been some good other performances from Mid-Kerry, but unfortunately just not enough on the night, Gary.
Here's Paddy Clifford to take this 45-metre kick about 15 yards in from the sideline. He certainly has the distance, but he hasn't got the accuracy. That's just the third wide of the second half. 5 wides in total for East Kerry, Sean. Not a lot.
It's not a lot, Gary. You take that. Jerry O'Sullivan, his management team, will be happy with that. If they were told tonight that they'd only have 5 wides after nearly an hour of football, you take it. Whereas Mid-Kerry, on the other hand, have had too many. But that's the difference, Gary. And here's Mangan again driving East Kerry.
Lovely
Mid-Kerry
run
forward.
by Mangan, gives it to Mike Bree now. Mangan will continue his run. This is Liam Carey now, about 40 yards out from goal. Still Liam Carey holding on to possession. A credit to Mid-Kerry. They're not throwing in the towel. They're doing their very best, but their best is not going to be good enough. Cavelin Tehan across it goes, looking for Gavin O'Grady, but nipping in there was Mike Foley from Spa.
Yeah, but that ball across to Gavin, Gary, first of all, it was a difficult ball for him. Even if he did get it, he was going to be surrounded in red jerseys. But look, this late in the game, Mid-Kerry are trying anything at this stage to get it into round the mixer, maybe get a goal out of it, but too little, too late, unfortunately, Gary. And look, it's a disappointing night as a Mid-Kerry man. I feel gutted for the lads, but no doubt they'll be back in a few years to come. They've some good quality players. They won't go away either. They'll be back in next year's championship, I'm sure.
Of course, they lost the 2011 final and they lost the 2014 final to Stacks and Crokes respectively, but they will be back again. 4 minutes of additional time is what has been allocated at the end of this half, so we'll play to 34. 4 minutes of additional time to be played. It is Mike Foley now going through the motions for East Kerry. Once again, the cup will be heading in that district, and it's a Pa Wren who, unfortunately for him, is not going to be lifting the Bishop Moynihan this evening, but it will be lifted by Dan O'Donoghue from Spa, and no doubt that great club in Killarney will celebrate, as will the whole of the East Kerry district. It is now possession with Mid-Kerry in the middle of the field by Colin McGillicuddy. Cavelin Tehan as well. This ball is sprayed inside again, looking for the number 23, Cathal Moriarty. Cathal Moriarty now in the left corner forward position, jinking his way inside, trying to pull the free. Referee was thinking of giving him the free, but thinking is all he was, because he didn't. Now it's decided, it was touched on the ground, and it's a free out. Yeah,
Cathal dodged a lot of challenges. I thought his jersey was pulled, Gary, and Paul Hayes was going to give a free, but he left him roll, and it came out to Liam Carey, who just snapped it up off the ground. Free out. And look, Gary, East Kerry are just playing out the last couple of minutes now at a very pedestrian pace, even though Dara Roach is picking it up here, but they're just seeing out the last few minutes. Good
considering, Sean, I suppose we'll base a lot of games on that great semi-final, but standard-wise, it's been a poor enough final, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, Gary. Look, I suppose from a neutral point of view, as a ball goes in here long, Gary, hold on a second.
Shane Ryan calling for it, and the big 6'4" man, maybe he's even taller, wins it easily enough inside.
Yeah, easy fetch for Shane. That's bread and butter to him, really. But yeah, going back to your question, Gary, it has. And look, I suppose we were expecting maybe a better game, two good teams. But look, obviously, the gulf was bigger than we thought. East Kerry are just magnificent, Gary. I don't even think they've got into maybe fourth or fifth gear tonight. They haven't had to. They just have quality forwards up front who could win you any game any day of the week, and they've just been on their game tonight.
Mike Foley and Jeff O'Donoghue, the two substitutes that came in together. Oh, that's a high one by Colin McGillicuddy. Extra time or no extra time, Sean, he'll get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, I think, look, that was just again, Gary, just one of those tackles late in the game where you're well beaten. Colin isn't a dirty player by any matter of means. He gets a yellow card for that, but it's just a tackle really now out of disappointment, I think, and frustration at a night that just hasn't gone well for his side.
Jeff O'Donoghue. Well, when you see the calibre of the likes of Jeff O'Donoghue, only a sub, this guy would walk into most teams, as would most of these substitutes on the East Kerry side. One of them there is Dan O'Brien of Glenflesk involved, and so too Paddy Clifford. Paddy Clifford, he's had some hell of a battle with Kilkenny tonight. It's a joy to see the two of them. They went head on it from start to finish, and they're still at it inside. They're toe to toe. Again, Clifford spraying a beautiful pass inside, looking for Dara Roach. 1 goal and 3 points so far for Dara Roach. 1-1 from play. This is Mike Foley. Back outside it goes to Dara Roach again. 33 minutes gone. One more agonising minute if you're a Mid-Kerry supporter. One more glorious minute if you're an East Kerry supporter. And East Kerry will be crowned the Garvey Super Value County Senior Football Champions for the second year in a row. As the night skies, what a beautiful night it has been here in Tralee. I'm talking weather-wise now. I'm not talking if you're a Mid-Kerry supporter or a player, but weather-wise, you couldn't have asked for a better night to play it. It's Chris O'Donoghue now, playing it back here to Dan O'Donoghue. Paul Murphy now, one of the many heroes. Don't forget to stay with us until the very final bit in tonight. We'll have a quick interview with the East Kerry manager, Jerry O'Sullivan, and we'll also have a quick interview, if possible, with the man of the match tonight, whoever he might be. My money's on David Clifford, but then again, neither me nor Sean have anything to do with the picking of a man of the match. It's Jeff O'Donoghue here now. Jeff O'Donoghue, we're down to the last 10 seconds. Paul Hayes, well, look at his watch. It's back, it goes to Dan O'Donoghue. Dan O'Donoghue, 2:14 to 9 points. Is that going to be the final score of the Garvey Super Value County Senior Football Championship? Maybe there'll be an extra 60 seconds to play. David Clifford now, acceleration by Clifford, pops it nicely to Ronan Buckley. Buckley back again it goes. Still Buckley, he'll have a cut. Why not? He's nothing to lose. It's high from Ronan Buckley, and it's the second score of the night for the Listry man.
Well, Gary, that kind of sums it up for me, because that guy has been excellent tonight. I know David Clifford will probably get the plaudits, and he'll there's the final. Paul Hayes is going to blow up here, Gary, and that's it. East Kerry are the champions. But a fitting man to get the final score, Ronan Buckley. I thought he's been excellent. But, Gary, that's been the difference. East Kerry have had just too many aces in the pack. They've had too many match winners all over the field. And even though it was an even first half on the scoreboard, 9 points to 7 at the break, East Kerry just upped the ante. They went through the gears in the second half. They showed all their quality. They showed why they're champions. They blitzed Mid-Kerry in the first quarter with those 2 goals. An absolute stunner from David Clifford and a brilliant finish from David Roach, and that really just made it too difficult for Mid-Kerry to get back into it. Worthy champions, Gary, and well-deserved East Kerry.
For Mid-Kerry to have any chance here tonight, Sean, they would have needed to get the goals, not East Kerry.
They did. They needed that goal, Gary, and even going back to the first half where Ronan Murphy had that chance, that even then that goal for East Kerry, or for Mid-Kerry rather, would have given them a platform and would have given them confidence to drive on. But no, they didn't. And look, once East Kerry came out in the second half, and as I say, they upped the pace, they got their real quality players, their game winners on the ball. They were just by far the better team. Mid-Kerry can have no complaints. The only disappointing thing from Mid-Kerry, Gary, is that they miss so much. But they missed so much, Gary, because they were being forced into shots from too far out the field. And you've got to give credit to East Kerry there. They probably worked on that. They forced Mid-Kerry out the field. They didn't want them in around the top of their D or in around their square. They pushed them out to the 45-yard line, just outside, maybe 35 yards out, forced them into difficult efforts. The wides racked up from Mid-Kerry, and East Kerry got confidence from that.
Do you think, Sean, maybe that Mid-Kerry peaked in the semi-final, or are we just clutching at straws and saying that?
No, look, the semi-final was there to be won, Gary. I think you have to take every game on its merit. They came up against a good Croke side in the semi-final and won it, after a titanic battle in what was a great game. Tonight, Gary, they just came up against a very, very good East Kerry side. An East Kerry side that I think really haven't set the championship alight. Even tonight, you know, even though they were brilliant and put up a big score and played some good football at times, I think there's way more in them, which is scary for the rest of the county, really, Gary.
Well, absolutely. Just one final word on it, Sean, and we have nothing to do with the picking of the man of the match. Possibly David Clifford with a goal and 4 points, would you think?
Oh, he'd have to be in the reckoning, Gary, absolutely. I mean, 1-4 in a county final from play, and I mean, the goal was so crucial because even at that stage, the game was in the balance, you know. Okay, East Kerry still looked the better team, but they weren't out of sight. I mean, he turned onto his right foot and rattled that into the top corner. You just felt that was going to be a pivotal score. So for me, David Clifford would be, but Gary, he was backed up by the likes of Dara Moynihan, Ronan Buckley, Evan Cronin, Dara Roach. They were excellent, and at the back, Chris O'Donoghue, Niall Donoghue was very good, and Dan Donoghue, the captain, who's going to pick up the cup in a minute.
Well, that's about it for myself and Sean here on commentary. Do stay with us. We're hoping to have a chat with Jerry O'Sullivan and with the man of the match in just a couple of moments, but we'll let the presentation take place as I speak, and I would nearly say that David Clifford is the man of the match because he's at the bottom of the steps, and at the top of the steps is Dan O'Donoghue, the captain. So for me and Sean, that's it for the moment. East Kerry are the Garvey Super Value County Senior Football Champions. Once again, they have defeated Mid Kerry here tonight in the Austin Stack Park on the final scoreline of 2 goals and 15 points to Mid Kerry's 9.
I'd just like to thank Paul Hayes and his team of officials for officiating to the Austin Stack Park Committee, in particular Jerome Mahoney, having the field in such wonderful condition here this evening. There's been so many games played here over the last number of weeks, and the field is in immaculate condition again. So thanks to Jerome and all the Austin Stack Park Committee. So without further ado, while I'm on court, I'm going to our captain, East Kerry, Dan O'Donoghue.
More Northern Evan Shortreach, Glacka and Bishop Hodges, the Kerry here. The major honour for me to be here for a second year in a row, Kevin Bishop, unbelievable good players out there. Our time was shorter this year, I suppose, to show the first two games, so I suppose I'd say I give our thanks to last year to our management team, and that's Jerry Sullivan, John Callaghan, Sean Mullen, Arthur Fitzgerald. A big thanks too to Eamon Murray, the stats man. The work he does behind the scenes is unbelievable. He'll be filling us with stats there most nights. It's unbelievable, so thanks to him. I'd like to thank as well John Denny and all the rest of the people involved. They kept all the COVID restrictions and stuff for us in training, so it's a good shout out to John there. I'd like to thank Rudan and our physio as well, and Ali to be our sponsor. They're always there, we needed and stuff, so thanks guys.
One-sided.
I'd like to thank Paul Hayes, the referee for today's game. It's a tough game to ref, there's some hard hits out there. I thought I refed well, so thanks Paul. And finally, to Mid Kerry. Like we always do, Mid Kerry had a great batch of players going the last few years, and it's this year they kind of put it together and started gelling together, and we were a bit feared of going to the final. It just didn't click for them as it did in the second half and stuff, so I'll give a round of applause to Mid Kerry.
I'm all good, man. There's one final bit of business, lads. The Garvey sponsored Man of the Match award goes to the East Kerry corner forward, David Clifford.